Meanwhile, local businesses are reacting as all of this plays out in court. News 19's Eleanor Tabone has that part of the story tonight.
The Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals granted an emergency stay of the requirement by the Federal Occupational Safety and Health Administration that workers at companies with over 100 workers be vaccinated by January 4th or face mask requirements and weekly tests. But the court delayed those rules, citing grave statutory and constitutional issues with the measures.
We are scared to death. This is probably the scariest legislation that we've ever faced.
Bobby Williams, CEO of Lizard's Thicket, employs 550 people.
A lot of my employees, I've talked to some today, and they do not want to get vaccinated.
He fears if the stay wasn't implemented, he'd have to close many of his restaurants.
If we've got to get everybody vaccinated, so many employees will say they're not going to do it. They just won't work, or either they'll go to work for a restaurant that employs less than 50 people. This halt will give us a little reprieve.
There's 8 firemen that have died this year from COVID-19.
Bill Pesator, Vice President of the Professional Firefighters Association of South Carolina, says if people choose not to get vaccinated, then other mandates should be implemented.
So if people don't want to get a shot, well, tell them you have to wear a mask all the time, you have to be tested weekly.
And what about schools and hospitals? In a statement, South Carolina State University says we strongly encourage all employees as well as students to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Whilst Richland District 1 says we are continuing to monitor the mandate and the associated lawsuits in determining any next steps. Now, unlike other workers under the mandate, healthcare workers don't get the option to get weekly tests if they don't get the vaccine. They must be vaccinated. Now, Prisma Health says we are committed to complying with all federal requirements, including those that were recently announced. We have begun implementing the appropriate protocols for compliance. The Biden administration says they believe their rules will stand up in court. However, it's not clear when this measure will have its next hearing. In Columbia, Eleanor Tabone, News 19 WLTX.
Just last week, the governor issued an executive order prohibiting state agencies from implementing the vaccine requirement.